My name is Kelvin, and this is my real life story.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kelvin. It's great to be able to get together in this way today. Now tell me, have you always been a Christian?
Well, it was more sort of when I was younger. We did the traditional thing where I went to Sunday school, but my parents weren't Christians. My brother wasn't a Christian. So it was more sort of went to Sunday school. It was more sort of going through the motions than it was actually sort of believing in God.
Okay, so it wasn't really a big thing in your life. Did things change much as you got older?
When I was a teenager, I started to believe in God a little bit more. But then the distractions of the world and everything else started to sort of pull me away from God. And I sort of become more fascinated and interested in the world rather than interested in God.
Just with that, can you help us understand a little bit more? What do you mean by the world?
So it was just really sort of doing the usual teenager things, going out with friends, drinking, smoking, and, just generally thinking that I was having a good time. And
Yeah, that makes sense. So as you moved into your 20s, as life began to get a bit more structured, become a bit more serious, where did life take you next?
So I joined the army. At about 17 and a half. And it was something that, because I'd always been sort of in Army Cadets and the TA, and then joined the Army, just because I think it was a point in my life where I needed discipline and structure and guidance, and the military supplied that for me.
Sure. And how was your time in the Army?
It was really good. It was really good. I had some really good times, but it was more, I went to the first Gulf conflict, which was quite troubling and trying. And then when I came back from there, I really became quite sort of lost and disillusioned with the army.
Sure.
And I went to quite a dark place.
Oh, okay, so how did you come out of that? I mean, you've been in the army, a place that's about strength. It's about imposing yourself and not showing any weakness. So how did you deal with this new situation that you were in?
I think, when I first came out of the army, I just spiralled. I think I just spiralled deeper and deeper and deeper. And that carried on for years, really. And just sort of, I think God has always been in my life, all the way through. But I think it was just a case of I wasn't listening and I wasn't looking. I was just almost ignoring God in a way.
Okay.
And then I went to work for Direct Line. And
other insurance companies are
available. And I met a friend at work. We were working together in the charity organisation in work. His name's Mark Hodges. And he just so we sat down and had lunch one day and just asked me about my faith. And I sort of explained my story to him. And he sort of started to talk to me about God and my interest in God. And then I started to come to Headley Park Church.
Fantastic. And just as we come towards the end, if we look back over your story, we see times in the army, there were times of real highs and then real lows as you struggled to place yourself in the midst of life outside of the army. And now you've come to know, trust and love Jesus. What difference does it make, knowing Jesus?
So it's softened my heart. I think for years, my heart was extremely hard. And I was distrusting and, I just wasn't comfortable in myself. And I think with the Lord in me now, it's really softened my heart and opened my eyes. And I'm sort of looking at things with new eyes and afresh.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Kelvin. Thank you for sharing your real life story with us.
Thank you.